go. That's what I was looking for. And we are live. Look at that, Mikey.
Merry, 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 Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you too. We
Especially to you,
are.
Vinny. Another great season is in the can.
Yeah,
We should
another.
we should we can be thankful we don't work for CBS anymore.
Yeah. Well, that's. Yeah, that's a.
That's the sad story of the season.
Well, it's funny for us. It's sad because we're on the inside of it. It's sad for the country in a way that most people don't even know. People don't have an idea of how sad it is. We're talking about the killing of the story on prison by CBS News, and I guess
60
what you
minutes.
would, yeah, 60 Minutes, and what you would describe as an incident that should have Edward R. Murrow turning in his grave.
Actually, I think he's probably up dancing in his three-piece suit with the vest buttons open because the video of it has gone everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and that's when you say, well, social media and all of this stuff is killing us. Well, we might not know about this if it wasn't for social media. If people didn't weren't conditioned now to get to social media and put up on their social media feed what they don't like or what they're PO'd about, we might never know about it.
Right.
So there would be an internal corporate memo, and you don't let those outside of the company, but instead we have a blow up certainly among people in the media.
Those in the know.
Yeah, I don't know that the average guy standing, like when I went into Starbucks yesterday, I didn't hear anybody talking about it. Not that they shouldn't be. They should be. I mean, this is an attack on the Constitution, is it not?
It's an attack on the First Amendment. It's an attack on the freedom of speech. It's an attack on the freedom of the press. It's an attack on the ability of reporters to do their jobs. And it's an attack on the good sense of the idiot editor that pulled that story. That cost them their reputation. She cost them their reputation.
Well, let's face it. These days, reputation is not. What is reputation in the news business anymore?
Reputation, schmeputation, yeah.
I mean, when we were coming up, it meant something. Who you were, what you stood for, what you talked about, how you carried yourself, they all meant something. Now, listen, let's face it, we got schlubs dressed in Santa hats and plaid shirts doing shows out of their living room. So, I mean, I hope that my career was more than, it still carries some kind of cachet to it that you can trust what I say because it's from reliable sources. I mean, you've been in news, you've been on the news side of it much more. Although in my later years I was, and that stuff counted. It doesn't seem like it counts anymore.
And there was people watching. I remember a time at the Rocker, we said that we were at the rocket launch, and the legal department, the floor above the executive suite in New York, contacted us in writing and said, you said on the following date at this following time that you were at this site and you weren't. That is not the standards of CBS News. That's not the standards of the CBS Broadcasting Company. If you're someplace, and you better be there when you say you are. And if you're not, don't say it.
Right.
This is a warning.
Right. You got, or at the very least, a program director would call you in and say.
They went right by him. They said, you didn't do anything about this. We are. As a rock and roll program director would say, well, all they did was they said they were at the rocket launch. What harm can that hurt? They weren't there. I'm not saying there's harm. They didn't tell the truth.
Yeah, what were you told? It's theater of the mind, right?
Right.
You're creating a theater, and and I've always said to people, and listen, what I say in an update, when you hear that update sounder go off, that's news. That's absolute truth. That's what happened.
If you say the score was 6-0, that was the score.
You can go check it with a million sources. It's going to be 6-0. Now, I may screw up every once in a while and reverse the score or read it wrong. That's going to happen. I'm human, but you can pretty much bet that what we say in this update is going to be the facts and nothing but the facts. We're not going to tell you that somebody got traded and didn't get traded. We're not going to do a lot of speculation says, or sources say, or this guy says, or that guy says. This is going to be something that we got from a credible source, whether it be in that organization or another credible news source, New York Times, something on that order. And I know I take a lot of heat when I say that the New York Times is a credible news source, but the New York Times you can believe what you want to believe, but the New York Times and CBS News up until now and NBC and ABC were pretty credible news sources for the most part.
How about Reuters? How about the Associated Press?
Yeah, Reuters, Associated Press, CBC, the Canadian Broadcasting System. Matter of fact, those are even more
credible than American.
Credible because they tend not to have a U.S. bias, which many of our news companies here in the United States have a bias. They can say they don't, but they do.
Oh, they do.
Humans have a bias, but it's not supposed to get in the way of reporting the facts. But
introduce Larry Ellis into that equation, and now you see what you got.
Well,
a bloody mess.
Once we started Happy News, it went.
She said, just because you're rich, hey, you're rich. Have you tried being influential? Come in here. Take a look at this. Come more close.
It's just amazing. It's sad because I think it is the death of something. Another thing.
Well, Zuckerberg's going to want to buy something now. I think I'll buy ABC to stay even with these guys.
Well, these guys are feeling that they have to have a mouthpiece. Why have a public relations department when you can make ABC a public relations department?
We sent you the press release. You didn't use it. So now we're going to bypass that part. We'll just use the press release without sending. You don't have to send me one. I'll make up my own.
We're not going to make it up. We got our buddy I over here. And I is going to make you up a press release.
He's got better ratings than David Muir.
Well, it's not hard to do, unfortunately. But so it's sad. It's another piece of what we held near and dear to us, gone from the landscape.
We thought no one could violate it and get away with it.
Well, as we've learned over the past few years, money talks, bullshit walks.
Bullshit talks too. Bullshit talks, and then it keeps walking.
Denison's, the men's clothing on Route 22, New Jersey.
How many pairs of pants with that suit?
2 pairs of pants, whether you need them or not.
Up to two.
And
are they the same size?
Yeah, for an extra $59.95, we'll give you a pair of matching pants.
So the pants come with the suit, but they don't fit you. They just
we didn't say matching. We just said pants.
Didn't say it fit. Didn't say whose pants.
We got a salesman here. If you're his size and you want a pair of warm pants, we can help you.
We can do that. We can help you right out.
We can make it out. We can make it out and back on the road.
Many a customer has said, "My goodness, these are warm."
This used to be odd. I can never say money talks and bullshit walks without thinking of Denison's, the men's clothing, on Route 22 in Union, New Jersey. And
that's where we are, Route 22.
Charlie Greer.
Now we're on Route 22. I mean, that's a long route.
Route 22 is a major thoroughfare. Before Interstate 78, Route 22 is how you got to Pennsylvania. It was how you headed west. If you were going, let's say, to the southwest, you went out Route 22, and it dropped you down into Pennsylvania, down below the Mason-Dixon line, across West Virginia, down out going down so that you
Oh,
can.
we're in Union City no more, Mama.
Well, no, it's not. Union City is different than Union. It's two different places. Union City is up in Bergen County. Union is down in Essex County, I believe. I don't remember what county. But it's south of Newark.
Vinnie's been in the West too long. He can't remember where Route 22 goes.
Well, I remember where it goes, but I can't remember the county that it's in.
See what I mean? He's losing it. He's losing his Eastern bias.
Yeah. Well, and that'll never happen. Hopefully, I'll always look at things through an Eastern bias. That's the problem. Is the Eastern bias has become the Western bias. And everybody okay?
I think so.
So how is your Christmas season going? I mean, are you all ready for the holiday?
Finally, we're finished. And I found out I thought I was bringing a poo-poo platter today, so I'm all prepared for it, but I'm not assigned to bring it, so I don't know what I'm going to do with all that.
Well,
you have any ideas, do you?
You want to throw some in an envelope and send it up here. I don't know how good it'll be when it gets here, though.
The prosciutto might be a little weather worn.
Well, you can make a leather wallet out of it if you let it sit there too long. Prosciutto cures in a very strange way. It gets a glisten on the skin of the meat.
Just got to pick it up and eat it.
You can fold it in half, stick money in it, and walk around. And it stinks so bad that nobody will go near it.
You could do that.
You could.
You could stick money in your prosciutto, fold it in half, and walk around.
You could do that. Imagine you're in the deli and somebody reaches in their back pocket, opens up a piece of prosciutto, and pulls out.
How much? What's the damage? Tell me. I can take it.
What's the damage?
Hey, you can take it, but I don't want to. What is it? A prosciutto? It's not a wallet.
No, it's a prosciutto wallet, man.
What have you been doing? I've been walking around.
I mean, they make the wallets out of cowhide. They make the prosciutto out of pig insides. So, I mean, really, what's the difference?
Yeah, I see your point, but
one just sits out in the sun a little longer.
On second thought, I'm going to go for the salami, cheese, and bread.
Yeah, maybe you want to go that way, or maybe just the cheese, even because the salami. Although the new 2027 Ferrari with the prosciutto seats is something that you really ought to see.
Yeah, but when it's a hot day in Monaco, you don't want to know.
Well, you'll smell it coming. Somebody cooking in here?
Where's my wallet? Who's got my wallet?
Money? It was in prosciutto.
What are you doing today, Vin?
I am
Christmas Eve.
My daughter and I are going to go up to. I think we're going up to the snow. It seems to be snowing up in the mountains.
Now, can you get up there and get back in the Seattle environs?
I'm sure hoping. Yeah, I mean 90's clear. I don't think it'll be too much of a problem.
They don't have high winds make it tough to get across the bridge.
Well, so far I haven't seen that high winds, and we're driving a heavy SUV, something that's got some weight to it.
Military style.
A Kia Palisade. No, a Hyundai. Is it a Palisade that we're driving, or a Hyundai? I forget. I forget what they're bringing me. Today's car day, so they're switching. Now, if I was in the Toyota, I might worry about it because it's a Toyota Corolla. Those are a bit light. But, the wind is, I mean, I don't think it's going to get so bad. And I'll check it. If I don't feel safe driving, I'll turn around. That's all. It's a simple process. You get these guys in these huge pickup trucks, and they feel like they can go through anything. I paid $83,000 for this truck. I'm going to go through anything. And they're the ones that are usually in the ditch on the side of the road as you drive.
As he reaches for his prosciutto wallet as he goes over there.
To pay the tow truck driver who now has to winch him out for $500. because the prices do go up on Christmas.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
time and a half.
yeah. There's no, and usually the big pickup truck isn't smart enough to spend the extra $40 a year for AAA.
Should have gotten the undercoating. Told you.
I didn't need it. I told you I'm a big macho. I got a big macho truck. I don't need undercoating. I hit people. That's how I undercoat it. I hit deer and animals, and blood spatters up, and I undercoat the car.
Oh,
It's not prosciutto you smell.
it ain't pretty.
It ain't pretty, but it's the way we do it here up here in the Northwest.
You're going to learn to like venison. This is fresh.
Yeah.
Fresh venison.
Well, you always wonder what they do with all of that meat that you see on this. I mean, you drive through. I'm trying to think of a secondary road, and if you go through on a after a morning, especially in the fall when it's the deer are at their most populous, you'll usually see one or two or three on the side of the road that have been struck by by a vehicle. So I often wonder. I guess I don't know if this is true or not, so take it with a grain of salt. But the state patrol either employs people or has somebody that goes out and picks these things up and either gets them to a dog food factory or someplace. I mean, I guess you got to get them when they're fresh.
Yeah.
Because if they lay on the side of the road too long, they get certain organisms start to burrow holes and live in there.
Yeah, but happy to do it.
Yeah, I guess if you get them, if you get them early enough, and the meat is fresh enough, you can actually use it. I mean, I notice people would take a recently hit deer to a butcher, not a butcher, but somebody that renders the meat, cuts the meat up. What are we talking about? Christmas Day. It's Christmas Day, and we're talking about Rudolph under a pickup truck.
Get up, Rudolph. You're going to be good. You're going to be great. You feel good. How do you look? Not so good.
One of the best scenes in the movie is that in Tommy Boy, where they got the deer in the back of the convertible. They hit the deer.
He's alive.
Thing starts punching his way out of the
those hooves are sharp, boys.
Convertible. Gets up on the trunk, looks back at them, and then scampers off into the woods. Thanks for the snooze and the ride.
Thanks for the prosciutto.
Well, he smelled the prosciutto, and that's what got him in there in the first place. It's a funny damn movie, man.
Well, Kristen and I both dodged illness so far this Christmas. I was sick for one day. I don't want to go into the details, but it was very unpleasant. And Kristen's got maybe the same thing now. So
no, I
don't know where we're going today.
I don't.
She says she's fine, but I know better.
Well, get rested up. I take it you're going to go to, or either the grandkids are coming, or you're going to the grandkids tomorrow, right?
We're going to Steve's sister, Steve being my son-in-law, in Hollywood, and then Christmas Day, Christmas night, Christmas afternoon, we'll go to Los Feliz, which is typical because it means the happy. And Feliz Navidad is where we're going. Feliz neighborhood.
Or no, that's Felix the cat.
Well, that's what they say.
But
we screwed up Spanish, and we have to keep it that way. Los Feliz, we say. We say San Pedro, and we say.
Why do they do that? Just to be annoying?
It's just an old way of pronouncing Spanish words that got stuck in. Remember, I filed a story. They made me recut it because I said Pedro. I said no, make it Pedro.
Well, yeah, that was like if you said pull you all up here.
Pull you all up.
Pull you all up.
That ain't funny. Say Pig Wallop.
And people are going to know that because it's the home of the Ewards. You got another one coming up, you know.
He's coming up. Better than all of them. Better than all of them. Best ever. There's always a Eward coming up.
I went with a friend to get I took a trip out to Puyallup recently, and I asked somebody, "You know the Ewards?"
He did.
That got me a half hour of conversation right there.
That you'll never be able to shake.
Right. You know the Ewards? Oh, yeah. Yes, we do. From the big one to the little baby Eward. And there's more coming up. See that workshop out there?
That's where we make them.
That's where they're building them. They're building them out there. But, well, Merry Christmas to the Ewards.
Merry Christmas, Ewards.
Merry Christmas. To the Ewards. Who else do we need to say Merry Christmas to? Well, oh, you know what? I do want to mention, and none of our listeners are going to know this guy, or maybe a couple will, that might have been in the radio business. But a good friend, Perry Michael Simon, is hanging up his column, his pen, his typewriter. I guess people don't use a typewriter anymore.
You know they don't. They don't even use word processors.
Yeah, his computer, he's hanging it up. He's been writing. He wrote for the major industry magazines for years, and was a program director, and has been writing most recently for Barrett Media. And I don't know what there is to write. Well, you know, I do know what there is to write, because he used to write columns to try to get people kind of back into what we believe in, is personality radio.
Personality, you know? Just the word I was going to say.
Yeah, to get people back into entertainment, a show business, the radio as a that he believed. From reading his columns. I mean, I didn't have a conversation with him on it, but he believed, if you read his columns, that the way to save radio was to go back to the basics of making it a friend.
Put on a damn show.
Yeah, put on a show. That's what you're here for. You're not here to sit in front of a microphone 4 hours and insult people. You're not here to let people know how cool you are. You're not here to just be an endorser of products. You know, you get to be an endorser if you do something entertainment-wise and people believe in you. And you get that by entertaining people, by making them laugh, making them cry, making them know a story. Nobody's interested in you. They're interested in the person you're interviewing.
And please tell us who it is.
Yeah, and that, and in sports, give the score. If you're not giving the score, you're not doing your job. And it was so he has decided, after many, many years, to hang up his column. And so I think his last column was today in that Barrett Sports Media, if anybody's interested in going to read. But, it's he's a guy that did his job well. And in America these days, that ain't the easiest thing to find. And he cared about what he was doing. He gave a crap about the people that, that he was, man. And listen, this is a business where, the coolest thing that can happen to you, I think, besides signing a huge contract for huge money, is to get your name in the, in one of the trades. I mean, when people do, they pin it up all over the place for a year after it happens. Oh, you weren't here 2 weeks ago when I got my name in radio and records. But that's, now it's, if you could make a disturbance online.
What was that place in Cherry Hill, New Jersey? The trade paper?
All Access.
Was that it? All Access? No.
Was it? Or was it
Cherry Hill
Quarterback?
Yeah, that's it. FMQB.
FMQB, yeah, Friday Morning Quarterback. because there was, there was a bunch. There was there was Radio and Records, which was kind of the industry standard, but they tended to not admit that certain formats existed for a large piece of their existence.
They were specializing.
Yeah, and
Everybody thought the Bureau of Money was in Top 40 and CHR.
right, and then the Gavin Report came along, and they started writing a fine weekly in magazine format, and that was considered by most younger people, the next generation, of which we were a part of, to be the industry standard. Gavin was, especially in alternative format, in different formats that didn't, that weren't just AOR or MOR or
CHR.
Yeah, CHR, classical music, Bill Drake, Drake Chenault and all that stuff. They covered that. They saw the niche in the market. They saw the whole.
Excuse me.
Anyway, goodbye, Perry.
Goodbye, Friday Morning Quarterback. Goodbye, Radio and Records. Goodbye, Billboard. Goodbye. Well, Billboard still exists. They just don't write about radio.
Yeah, they just. Billboard was always more about records anyway.
Correct. Sales, charts.
Yeah, they were much more about records.
The dollars and the deals.
The dollars and the deals, and they were kind of they were the Hollywood Reporter of the
owned by the same company, Variety and Billboard.
Well, that's what I meant to say. I said Hollywood Reporter was Variety, which was a great paper. Still exists online. I don't know if do they even make
they might make a
paper copy anymore.
A monthly for special reports, but I'm not convinced of that. I don't know why they would put it on paper.
Yeah, no. I mean, the medium of paper is dying. If you go in a store and you look at a newspaper rack, the paper is about the size of a brochure, and it pretty much tells you go look at our stuff online.
In fact, there's a great bookstore here in Pasadena called Vroman, Vromans, and they have a magazine stand, an old-fashioned magazine stand, and you'd be surprised how many magazines there are. But I only walked by quickly and I thought, specialized topics. And that's really it for people who have an interest in something like Mets Santa hats. You get a magazine for that all year long. It's our time of year, Mets Santa hat fans.
There's not one. We should start one. But yeah. I mean, magazine, now there's websites for all of that. But, in the old days, if you wanted to be a part of something in something in a hobbyist or anything like that, you had to go to the store and on the day that the periodicals came out, the magazines came out, and buy the magazine, or at least stand there in the store and look at it.
Yes, read it and run home.
Yeah, it was matter of fact a great present for somebody. Used to be a subscription to Sports Illustrated or one of the magazines that had to do with what they liked.
I like the fact that the English magazines give you a CD with every issue. The music magazines.
Oh, do they?
Mojo. And
New Musical Express and NME. They seem to be on top of their magazines a little bit. Well, the press is different over there too, I guess.
Yeah.
They still, I think they still a lot depend on the printed media, or at least more than we do. Or maybe that's just my perception, actually. I don't know that for a fact.
I want to shout out to the University of Miami football team. Big victory. I want to shout out to the 49ers. You guys trounced the Colts. And look out, Seattle. Look out, Los Angeles. Here come the 49ers.
Yeah,
you.
Yeah. They have it together, man. All of a sudden, nobody's been talking about them except, we have. But many people kind of counted them out, counted them dead.
Well, they had so many injuries. They're still suffering. They're doing this all without Bosa and the middle linebacker. Damn, I can't think of his name.
Well, one of my favorite coaches in the NFL is Mike Tomlin, and his edict is next man up.
Yep.
Next man up. The way you build a championship team is you have great people in your starting positions, and the next man up is.
You mean me? Yeah, you. I don't know your name, but I will be. But when the game's over, I'll know your name. You're
right.
up.
Right. You're up. You're up. Get in there and be as good as the guy you're replacing, or else you shouldn't be on this team. And that's one thing that the Steelers have always had, and that the 49ers have had for a long time. But things happen.
It's hard to sustain that deep roster.
Yeah.
It's very hard to sustain it.
But yeah, it's a wild year in football. You can't point your finger at any team and say that
Ohio State. Nope.
Well, in Pro Bowl, Ohio. Yeah, I mean, you could probably, point your finger at Ohio State.
Remember when the season started, both pro and college, it was upset after upset. Teams that were winning were supposed to win. The Colts were on that list, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were on that list. They couldn't sustain it.
Yeah, well, how many teams would have started like 8-2, or 9-1, or 7-3? I mean, there was a ton of teams that started.
The New York Giants were hot when they had a quarterback on Scatterboo. Whatever his name is, it can't be Scatterboo.
Hey, listen, you're rooting for the guy, though. You're rooting.
Oh yes, I was. It was so sad when he got hurt.
And what fun it was to watch. To watch the Colts quarterback, Phillip Rivers, another game.
Man, he was trash talking somebody from the sideline. I don't know if you saw that scene, but man, he was on fire. He was lit up. He had the spirit within him, Vinnie. The spirit was within him.
Well, if you've been out of the game 5 years, you don't know anybody, so you don't have to worry about offending anybody. I don't really know anybody here, so I'll say what I want.
I don't know you. You might not even be on the team.
Yeah. Well, and that's the course that it appears DK Metcalf took in that game on Monday.
He's got
night.
10 kids. Didn't somewhere along the line he would say, "What the hell are we doing here? We have 10 kids." You notice all the people who live in this house?
Well, if you had 10 kids, you probably want to use any excuse you could to get out of the house, no?
I'm back in football.
I'm back. I won't be home this weekend. I'll be at the training facility. Then I'll be playing the game. You know where I am. You'll be able to see. Well, yeah, I guess he had all the kids.
Yeah, everybody.
The whole family there at the game.
They all left Alabama and went to Indianapolis. Now there's culture shock for you.
Wow. They're in Alabama, and they went to Indianapolis. And I'm trying to figure out if that's an upward move or not.
It's a move, that's all.
I'm not sure it's an upward move. I'm not sure that's something that qualifies as.
In fact, it might not even be lateral.
Yeah, that's a scary move. That's just a move that you don't.
You may have lost 2 yards on that move.
That was crazy. Mikey, what's the best Christmas present you ever got when you were a kid? You remember?
Maybe a red tractor that you could ride.
Yeah.
I drove right into the wall, left a streak. Trying to make a left turn from the dining room into the kitchen. I didn't quite make it.
No,
it was a new tractor. How was I supposed to know what the turning radius was?
Well, you hadn't gotten your license yet.
That's very true. I had no paperwork to go with my purchase.
Right. I don't think toys today are as cool as the toys we had. I was in a store yesterday, and I was looking at a guy had a pretty good collection of antique toys. And by antique, I mean, 60s and 70s toys.
Right. Antiques.
Yeah, antiques, right? And I just don't think that toys today I mean, they may be, technically more advanced. I mean, it may be, you can, play war games on your television set or your monitor or your computer, but I don't know. There was something about the Buddy L trucks, and it, the ideal space station where you had to take your hands and you had to put them on them and you had to, or you got those Estes rocket launcher.
I had a Remco rocket launcher.
Yeah, yeah, and you had to go out. First of all, for many of them, you had to go outside.
Well, I rocked it. My rockets were all launched inside. And the thing is, the Remco rocket launcher had a little thing on the left side where it held the rocket, which was like a dart that would shoot off. But the rest of it was just a phony, it was just a gauge that didn't move and a light that didn't come on. And it was all just sitting there. There was nothing to it. The Remco rocket launcher should have been about this big. And it would have been if they had just put the moving parts on the market. But there was nothing to it. I thought it was pretty cool.
I had the Remco space station. It was kind of the same thing. It was a big plastic globe. And the big feature of this is it had a crane arm that folded out.
That was it, the only moving part.
And it folded out. You could wind the crane down and pick something up, and it would go up and then into the space station. And if you pressed this button, it made a noise. And if you pressed this button, it lit up.
What about the prosciutto?
Dad kept the prosciutto in his pocket with the money in it.
Okay.
That, and there was the other one I really liked. I really, really liked, although I never put it together after I took it apart. Was Mechanical Man, which was also an ideal. I was
took it apart. The parts went everywhere.
Yeah, I wasn't good at putting things together. Once I took them apart.
Once they suffered the dismantling, they did not go back to it like they were intended to.
No, that Mechanical Man, I could never quite get it together. And the only thing that made me feel good is my father couldn't quite get it back together either.
Well, that might have been the way you took it apart.
Because he had these big lumbering hands that were like two catcher's mitts. And him just trying to put them small gears in the body of this Mechanical Man. It just didn't work, but it was a very cool toy for the 15 minutes that before I took it apart.
Before he was dismantled, before you gave him the medical examiner once over. And
I tried to tell Dad, I said, well, this is defective. You should take it back to the store and get another one. So I could take that one apart and see what's wrong.
On crime stories, they always ask the medical examiner, time of death. I can't even begin to tell you. What cause of death? No, I haven't even got them on. I'll know more when I get the body back to the lab. And those are the questions that the detective needs the answer to, that the medical examiner can't give him. And they go through the same charade with every body they find. And I see a lot of bodies being found because Christian and I like proper murders.
Yeah. And it's, well, they're odd birds, the medical examiners seem to be. They don't cast regular people. Although Ducky was a pretty good medical examiner in NCIS.
But he would not give Jethro the answer that he wanted until he had the information.
Right. David McCallum was, who we all know as
Ilya Kuryakin.
Ilya Kuryakin from Uncle, the man from Uncle.
I Spy.
Now, do you remember what Uncle stood for?
Unnecessary nuclear Cloyd laboratory evidence.
Yeah. It was the United Network Command for Law Enforcement.
Oh.
The man from Uncle. So that's my absolute useless fact of the day.
When they say Bob's your uncle, that's what they're talking about.
Well, no, but that was the in those days you had to have, if you had a spy organization, you had to have a name for it.
That's right. Thrush and Uncle and
Thrush and I don't know.
What about I Spy? Well, what was that?
I don't know. I never, it's funny. I never really got into I Spy all
Robert
that much.
Culp, Bill Cosby.
Yeah, Culp and Cosby. Yeah, I never really. Yeah, I just don't know why. I just never. Maybe because it was on at a weird time. It's like I never got into the monkeys all that much because I had Boy Scout meetings on Monday nights. So I either went to
The
be
Boy
Boy,
Scouts really.
and I gave up on the Boy Scouts pretty quick, but
I'm a believer.
and then started watching the monkeys and reruns. And then you couldn't see the monkeys for years and years and years, and then they invented the VCR.
Because they wore makeup like Kiss? No.
No, no, I don't know why well, they just didn't have them in reruns or anything. Now there's so many cable channels that you get reruns of everything.
And streaming the next night on their platform.
Yeah, I watched. What have I been watching? Uh, a um, series about submarines that was done in the 50s by I believe by the same people at Ziv Television. I don't know if you know what Ziv Television is, but
I do.
yeah, it was a they did TV programs on the cheap, the real cheap. They did Highway Patrol with Broderick Crawford.
Remember, he would push his. They used little guns, so you had to push the bullet out. Broadway Crawford would shoot like this.
My God, yeah, go like this.
And they drove Buicks and Oldsmobiles.
Buicks and Oldsmobiles. They didn't. Yeah, they had 57 Buicks. They had 55 Oldsmobiles. They went to. They had Mercury's one year. But yeah, they basically were going to use whatever the local dealer they could talk out of them.
We need another car. Broadway put his Buick into a eucalyptus tree. Well, I can't just give you. Yeah, that's the deal. And you got to paint it black and white by the night. But it's a beautiful coral orange.
Because they said that he was pretty totaled out on the set.
Broadway should not have been operating machinery.
Yeah, no. I guess it was a story. He fell out of the helicopter. They were using the helicopter on a show, and he actually fell out of the helicopter. He was so drunk when they put him in the helicopter that he fell out of it.
I don't fall out. That didn't take long.
Lucky we hadn't lifted the thing off yet. That could have had tragic consequences. Well,
Dan Crawford.
Yes, Mr. Broderick Crawford. I just saw him in a movie, a great comedy, a farce, as they called them in those days.
Judy Holliday?
With G. Robinson. And called Larceny Incorporated. And it's a great, it's one of those movies you don't see too often, but Crawford and Robinson and a few other people are in prison together, and they get paroled from prison. And so they're going to go straight. But they're not really going to go straight because they find a luggage store that's next to a bank.
and
yeah, it's got a bunch of really good. It's got Jane Wyatt in it. It's got Jack Carson, an assortment. Anthony Quinn.
Does Jack Carson play a cop? He always plays
he plays a luggage salesman, an overbearing luggage salesman. And it's just one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. And Broderick Crawford plays Edward G. Robinson's sidekick, and he's young. I mean, he's probably in his late 20s.
Have the same voice? Did he have the same gruff voice?
Oh, yeah. Oh, the same exact voice. Yeah. and maybe a little gruffer because he was he was playing a prison guy that got out of prison, so but was forced to go straight, and he played like a real dummy, like a
Yeah.
just a whacked out guy, got hit in the head with a baseball a few too many times.
Yeah, it happens. It's so sad, but it happens.
Yeah. But anyway, it was on TCM. It was great, great movie. Now I got about 6 or 7 movies queued up for Christmas, and my beautiful daughter and I are going to watch stuff like Christmas in Connecticut,
Power Watch,
and just watch some good movies. Stay away from the movie stuff. Just watch what we have queued up.
There you go. Have a good one, Ben.
At least I'm not making her watch The Godfather on Christmas.
It couldn't hurt.
All right. Well, listen. Have a Merry Christmas. No show Friday. Let's reconvene next Monday.
Let's do it. Good to see you, Ben.
Show off my new prosciutto wallet.
That's
Should be
lovely.
nice and cured by then.
It's a lovely design, and it's just full of, looks like singles, but still the thought was there.
Natural oils. Put natural oil on your money.
Put neatsfoot oil on your mitt and natural oil on your money.
Exactly. To everybody, Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy whatever you celebrate. Enjoy yourself. Mikey, have a good Christmas to you and the family. And I'll see you on Monday if the Lord's willing and the snow don't rise.
Well, we'll find out what happens with all the rain down here. It's raining like a mother.
Yeah, they just put a wind warning out, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. All right, man. Peace, love, and Manischewitz. Thank you all for listening. Have a very, very Merry Christmas. And see you next Monday. Bye-bye now.